to you, but try it. So my name is Mayra Valenzuela. I'm currently the president, but I'm also an 8th grade parent, and my 8th grader is moving on to another school. So that's why I wanted to make it more welcoming, because thankfully I have a team that's been with me the last 2 years or the last 7 years, because they rolled over from elementary where I came from. But that's not the same for the rest of it. So it needs to be cohesive here. We have kids coming from Manzanita, Cypress, Merwin, some Ben Lomond, and some Grove Center. Currently we have a lot of representation from Merwin and Grove Center, but that's it. And Manzanita, she came from Manzanita. But we stopped there, so we want to keep growing so that everybody's coming with a different expectation and perspective of what do I get in middle school? What does my kid get? What do I know? Where do I get the information? So I was as lost as you guys were. My first year, more so, and a little detached until my kid was coming home and she had a lot of questions. So second year, I decided to join in the board. Third year, here I am. So I invite you guys to, if you don't want to be part of the board because you don't want to take on a task, that's fine, but volunteer or ask questions. You don't have to be here to ask the questions. You can just call us, text us, go on Instagram and send us a message and email. So just feel open to do it. Don't wait for an event, because that's waiting sometimes too long. So with that said, I'm Mayra. This is Mariana, she's our treasurer. And Rosana, she's our programs. And we have Nancy, who's our hospitality. Judy, who's our red ribbon. And then we have Marisela, Zaina. And then Leslie,
Yadira,
Donna. And then we have Ms. Trujillo. She's our TV and J teacher. She's currently my student teacher. I think somebody else is. There's two, I think, right? Oh yeah, Melissa's child.
Oh yeah.
One of our other board members. So we've been able to recruit Ms. Trujillo this year. Hopefully she's staying with us next year. She's one of our newest teachers here and handles one of the electives, which is the FAME code, right, with Northview. So if your kid is interested or doesn't know they're interested like mine, but it's something new and they just want to try it, they might like it like she does. So welcome to that. Something I wanted to tackle, don't expect newsletters in the mail. Don't expect folders. That's why I like to make those newsletters. You might see if you follow us on Instagram, that's me. I like to put the information out there because even though my kid might not do all those things that are on there, I want you guys to know that because I felt lost not knowing what was going on. So I share that with you. Anything your kids are doing, let me know and I'll put it on there. Anything they're fundraising for, let me know, I'll put it on there. And I want that to continue next year. So that's why I had this. She was sharing with some of you that in Merwin, they had something like this. So unofficial, so casual, just have pastries. I showed up because they were having, many of you guys know they do the association meeting, which is usually February. They did a talent show. My daughter was in first grade. My daughter was coming from private to public. And there they had a lot of events and a lot of shows and my kid was me. She went and joined everything. And then she got here and they told her no, because she was too little to memorize a song. And she was trying to perform by herself. And they said, no, you have to perform with a group. Why? If my daughter doesn't work well with other people and she wants to yet show the same talent all the other kids have, and who are you to tell her she can't memorize a 3-minute song? So you ask her to condense it, she might do it, but nevertheless don't discourage them. So I had questions. Why are we stopping the grade level at 2nd grade, not first and not TK? So rather than go and ask admin, they were having this forum. I was like, questions. Who's running this? Who told my kid no? And who do I talk to?
And I ran up.
Luckily, it wasn't her. It was somebody else that pointed me in the right direction. She was there with somebody else pointing me in the right direction. I was like, oh, you're welcome to speak up. You can let them know. You can show them. Sure enough, lo and behold, there she was, the one first grader, first year that did that. And I was very happy because that opened the door for the TKers. We had, who's also in our board next year, Dieter, who did his first performance dribbling a basketball while dancing and doing all kinds of stuff. Great, that opened the door for something that I didn't know was going on in the school because the first year was not going to come tell you when there's a problem in the school. They're just going to tell me they so know. So here, it's the same thing. Now she wants, programs. She wants fundraisers. She wants dances. So I'm hearing, what do they want? What is going to keep them out of trouble? What's going to encourage them to build? So we're here for that. So if you guys have any suggestions, please feel free. This year was our first year doing a dance from PTA. Abbott does have one. but they literally have to wait the whole year to have it. So we were trying to sneak one in before that. At the end, we ended up having it about the same time. But lesson learned. Now next year, we're better prepared, right? So again, we go with a lot of firsts. We did a lot of changes. We were building pretty much from the ground up because the previous board wasn't as proactive with the students. It was more of a teacher thing, and we wanted to be equitable, right? Everyone's included. And so you guys tell me, what do you guys want to do? We can start working on it. If you guys want to, like I said, be part of the board. If not, even then, you guys can be guest speakers on it. Just say, hey, I have this idea, and then we'll build from that idea. We'll do whatever we can to help it grow. Currently, I don't know what grades you guys have. You guys can let me know. But I know, like I said, for 8th grade, 6th grade, they had a field trip to Pali Institute. This year, they don't have one. I know the cost went up, but I'm guessing also parents didn't know that they used to have one. So how do you ask for something you didn't know?
Yeah.
So I'm sharing that with you. They no
This
longer
year they're
have
going
it.
to the movies, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
But that
they're-
is more like an end of the year
Yes,
part.
that's
It's not a
what
thing.
I said. Okay.
So I'll give you the example. So see, 6th grade used to go to Pali Institute. 7th grade would be able to go to Catalina. 7th grade goes to Astro Camp. So now it's down to 7th and 8th graders. So why not 6th graders? Potentially it's a funding thing, but we can help support that if we're allowed to do that. And if we're more in numbers, we get more, right?
And it's a problem when you have two kids that are back-to-back in the same program. So I have a daughter who's in 7th grade dual and a son that's in 6th grade. So he got to see what my daughter did. She got to go
He
to,
didn't do it.
and he didn't do it. And he says, our cohort always gets chipped. Because the first year dual always, and that's been a recurring case even from Manzanita. So.
And that, to a point, that's why we're here, right? To do something about it. So same thing in a lot of things, we're not gonna go and complain, why you're not doing this? Let's just do it. Like, we figure out, most of our kids are in cross country. And then we said, oh, why they don't get shirts? The teacher's like, well, I don't know. Then I said, okay, let's get shirts. He's like, you're gonna get shirts? Yes. We all go. You have 5 parents that have cross country kids. Why we're not getting shirts? Everybody else gets shirts. Let's get shirts. So we sold this, we sold that, and we got shirts.
Yes.
So we're here to make it happen. We're not here to complain or go and tell them why you have to do this. No, let's just figure out a way.
Let's find solutions with that concern, right?
Yeah.
We're not just here to say like, point fingers, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. Well, this is what we can do to help you do, right? So that's our guidance point. Like she said, we have made a couple of things change and move. I'm not going to be here to see what progressively you guys are going to do. I can only hope you guys are going to do a couple things. But we didn't do, I can tell you that in the last 3 years, what we're doing right now. And I know we're not a lot, but this is more than showed up. And the few events I came when I was in 6th grade. So I'm just hopeful that if this is 8th grade and we're growing, then when I leave, you guys are just going to grow. So I know that some of you have questions because you're incoming 6th graders. Feel free to ask us. We have 6th grade, 6th and 7th, 7th, 8th. You have 7th. Oh, 6th grade, that's right. So you have 7th as well. And you're incoming or you have one here?
Incoming 6.
6, and same 6, and then same with 6, right? There are programs. I know that one nice thing that our district does have, and I say it's nice because I come product of LAUSD. So there's a lot of red tape and stuff we don't get to do. We do have a lot of perks in Covina Valley, and one of them is finding out what different programs they have here, that they have at Trevor, and that they have at Sierra Vista. I am going to encourage you guys that when they do the lives, attend. I did that. Even though my daughter wasn't going to go to another school, I wanted to know what the other school had. Because potentially, yes, she could go to the other school. And maybe I can drive even crazier than I already do to get her to where she needs to get to. But if this school's here, why not make it the same value as the other school? So here we are.
And also you can get ideas, right, from
Oh,
other
yeah,
places
yes.
to get.
Definitely. Again.
I know she was like, oh, did you know what they did? We have
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I wasn't there because they're on competition. I want to be better than them. No. I wasn't there because I was trying to find another school for my daughter. No. It's like, why can't I have that here? What do I need to do to make that happen here? So I encourage you guys to go to those. Find out. If you're prepping your kids for school, for high school, same thing. If obviously we never know the future, and God knows we never know the future. But if you're planning to keep your kids in the school district for their high school, same thing. Go to all the schools and find out the different things that they have. Because then you can start introducing that idea to your child. Because if you just depend on your friends for your students, sometimes that doesn't happen. because you don't know if they're thinking in the future, if they're just in the present, if they even have the interest. It's a really hard age, middle school, because our sixth graders come in very dependent to us, and we're codependent because we expect them to come home, tell you what the day was about, and give you a flyer, and then this is due, and it's not gonna be that. I hate to tell you, at all. You need to be on their areas. You need to be checking their Google Classrooms. You need to be checking, yes, Parent Square.
Social media, the
Ask the
things
teacher.
that I
Everywhere.
ask my kid, did you do this? No.
Yeah.
I'm like, I ask, yes. I'm like, kid, well, I can't hear because the announcements goes on and their kids are going like talking in class. They can hear announcements. So it's always every event that we have is going to be in the LP page.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so you have to open that communication with your student or the teacher or the rest of the parents. Because that's really how we end up asking each other. Even when it's not PTA related, it's like, hey, do you guys know what time this was? My kid doesn't know, but I probably do know because I have to know more. So, all right, sure, it's at this time. Did they send a flyer for this? Yes, it was due 2 days ago. Like, whatever it is. So if you can't get it out of your kid, get it out of us.
The school is pretty good at sharing, like, whether it's a text or Parent Square or call or whatever, but
We were at a
Yeah, but our
coffee with
now you have to fend for yourself.
Yes, we do have, I was at a coffee with the principal once, and the lady sitting next to me was saying, was complaining to Miss Dr. Romana saying, well, I always get a notification that he's missing something. How come I don't get a notification of what is due so I can remind him and tell him? And it's like, yes, you do.
Yeah.
Go to Google Classroom.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I can't go.
yeah, even
Like,
Eric tells you.
well, go to his computer, grab his computer and say, open Google Classroom. And she's like, I can't do that. I'm like, yes, why not? I'm like, that's what I do. She tells me, I don't have homework, bring me the laptop. And she's like, why? Bring me the laptop, open the Google Classroom. You gotta be checking all the
And my
time.
computer, his Google Classroom art is in my computer. So I get
When COVID,
notifications.
I got it on my phone, so I can literally
Yeah.
jump and sometimes
Yeah.
I find her working on things like
Yeah,
okay,
so
here.
that's gonna be your best friend to be Parent Square areas and Google Classroom.
Is it an app or you log
Yeah,
into
just
Google
like
Classroom?
just an app.
Classroom, like, like
Link it.
during COVID, they give the Google Classroom.
Uh-huh.
You just
Yeah.
go in there.
No, but I know it's on
Literally how
your
you have,
laptop,
like,
but I didn't know
the
you can have it
Gmail
on
or,
your
like,
phone.
photos.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
like Gmail. It goes through your
Yeah.
phone.
It's like one of the extensions
other
from
tracker.
Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can literally get it here, get the credentials, and like jump and like
Because I have
check for
Aries, so I
yourself.
can see.
Yeah, but
But I didn't
I'm
have
on
the
my
classroom.
teacher can
to
do
their
it.
Google Classroom in my phone, and I'm like, Jasmine, you're missing this. Micah, you're missing this. But did you do this? Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh.
And teachers are pretty good too.
Yeah.
That if there's something is due that is important, they will message the whole class. This is due this day.
Yeah.
From the teacher standpoint, and this is good that I'm hearing this from you guys as well, because I could invite parents
Yeah.
to my Google Classroom, so you guys have your
Yes.
own login.
Yeah, that's too.
Which I see some parents do, but
Not
I didn't know I could send it out, which is,
Yes.
maybe something that we also can request of our teachers. Can you invite me so you and your student are seeing the same thing from your own login, from their own
Yes.
login, so you feel secure?
We just log into their.
Yeah.
The only thing I had with that one time, like I guess I didn't know what I was doing at that moment, and I made a comment, expecting to send it to my daughter, and like I accidentally
Put in the
put it out there, and then at that point, that was like back in the initial COVID days, right? And then the teacher did tell me like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna kick you out because for security for the other one. So like that's very important if we have like our own little login, so we don't
You
have
have permission.
Yeah,
intervene with what's.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's good. Yeah, I think, well, even I don't do it. But now that I know, we'll facilitate maybe for this grade, but next grade I'm ready.
Going back to basics to what you were saying about like the PTA bulletin, is that only posted in Instagram? Like on
No, he
Instagram?
posts it on Parent Square.
On Parent-
Every Sunday he sends,
Yeah.
but he only posts
From
the
Dr.
link.
Romana?
Yes.
Okay, but I haven't seen like the one from the PTA only. I see like the Lancers update.
Yeah, you have to click where it says PTA. The
Newsletter.
little newsletter, you click it and then
It
it
opens it.
populates.
Oh, got you, okay. Yeah,
And sometimes we have more dates and updates there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll change it more on the Instagram than on his because his only goes out every week.
because I usually see
Yeah.
like that one, but I haven't
Yeah, and so like, let's say, for example, right now, the one that's driving everyone nuts, and I got like so many texts, the teacher appreciation, because if you notice, all elementaries are thanking their teachers, and everyone's like, are we having one? And I was like, yeah, we have one, but it's next week. And then I was like, wait, did I miss it? No, you didn't miss it yet, because they're testing, so that has to get coordinated with the principal. So then I just shoot out the date based on whatever the principal gives us. If it changes, then I have to send out the changes.
Yeah, that's how
that's
I
a
saw
good
the
example.
PTA bulletin, because I received the Lancers update and it said like about teacher appreciation. I clicked on it and it redirected me to the bulletin rather than to like the form.
Yeah.
But this week it's like it's popping up now.
Yeah, so the next week is our teacher appreciation week. Just if you guys want to be kind to your teachers,
Yeah.
now you know. Okay, so Monday's a good day to kick that off. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I like to keep it in the loop, because a lot of things, if you have multiple children that are one in elementary, one in middle school, one in high school, I can see how it can get hectic. So if you just got one spot to check, then you know everything's on there. So if things change, know that we're going to pull the bulletin so we can redo it and post it again. And he'll send it out every week with whatever goes out on Parent Square on Sundays. That's when you guys will get the updates.
Yeah.
So yeah, so those are little things that, like I said, we didn't have before, and I missed that. I'm old school. I like things. If they're not gonna clip it to my child or put it in their backpack, then I need it in my face somewhere. And I live off 3 different calendars. However many members you guys have in your house, you guys know that you have to coordinate this. So that's one of the things that you're gonna find out. The other thing I wanted to bring up with the clubs. There's a lot of clubs. But our kids don't know about it, because if they're like my kid and just stick to one group in one spot in the building or the area, they don't know things are happening. So do let them know. If you guys came to the live, you saw it, but if you didn't, that's one thing that I definitely encourage, because then they're in a safe space for lunch and they have something to look forward to. They're interactive, they do things in campus and then they also do outside. So it's just something for them to get involved with.
Do they have a club day like the high schools?
Yes, they do in October. They have a club rush.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so everybody gets to sign. And that's crazy, because everybody signs up. But then every month they start losing 1 or 2. So we're trying to work with the clubs to retain the kids.
Yeah.
What do you guys need? Is it shoes? Is it clothes? Is it pastries? Do you need a pizza day? What do you need just to make sure these kids stay? And again, it's 2 things, right? You're building a new skill for them. 1, and 2, it's a safety thing too. And they get to also work in groups, and it's something that they have in common. Because again, if they happen to be like me, I want to sit with my friends and then that's it. It's like, but there's so much more. Let's go find out what else is there. So let's push them a little to introduce them to things. I mean, and then they can always start a club. They can consult with a teacher, and if the teacher's available, they'll open up a calendar for that. I know I was happy to hear they started the book club and the chess club, because my kid is a bookworm and a chess player. And we got here and they didn't have that. So she kept playing with her dad, and I was just like, you have to play with somebody else. And now they have it. So again, it's something that you guys have to pursue.
And they have something for everyone.
They have, the handy, they have the gardening,
The gamers.
Yeah.
the gamers, that got big.
Oh yeah, my
And-
son already is like, when can I sign up for that?
Yeah.
For the FAME club, just that for 7th and 8th graders, or can 6th, 7th, and 8th graders?
So this is our very first year testing it out, so we only had 2 sections. We started off with 7 and 8. I'm not sure exactly what the numbers are. Maybe it'll be a part of the elective wheel. It's a possibility. We just don't know, because it's kind of fresh and new. We were testing the waters. Right now it's 7 and 8, but who knows? That could possibly change.
Yeah, because I just finished filling out the form where they had to choose their 2 electives. And it was very confusing, because there was only 4 things and you had to fill out 4 spots. And I'm like, so we just put it, and then the elective wheel was confusing too, because it's
I
like, do
know.
you choose from wheel or do you just put elective wheel? Like, it was just not very well.
Explain. I get you, yeah.
The elective will happens, it's just
So
by semester.
when they get mine, it's gonna have like little notes at the bottom.
Yes, no, and it has to do a lot to do with what your kid likes.
Oh.
Like, my daughter does band, and that's your priority. So then you elective section gets shrunk, because it's like only in certain hours you can get band, and you can get your English and your Spanish, so you're stuck technically with something. Fortunately for her, she got stuck with Spanish. Now she wants to take Spanish forever. But but that's just, and then it was 1 semester, and then the next one she had to change to her second choice of elective. That's what they ask you for 4.
Yeah, see, so that's not very,
I know, the way they explain it to you, and then once you get here, then you get it. You're like, oh, okay. And still, I think
They're gonna
it was
hate me
3
in the
months and
office
we
when I'm
still
in
couldn't
there,
get
we need
it.
to change this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for real, no, but you can reach out to the teachers.
Yes.
So I have the 7th grader last year, male, so minimal words. So I constantly have to message the teacher and
Yes.
find out from everyone else, like, what happened? Because this kid's not telling me anything. He had added 6th grade, so it really minimized, he had weightlifting as his other elective, which
Because-
he didn't like it. Yeah, he wasn't happy. So this year, no more Avid, he's taking Spanish and art, where he just loves
Oh,
art.
see, I didn't see
Yeah.
anything on Spanish as an elective.
For
It's in the
graders.
wheel.
It's in the wheel.
It's in the wheel.
So they get
Yeah.
one semester. If you take the wheel, well, this is how
Yes.
the form was. I don't know what it looks like this year, but in the
I
2
know.
years prior, yeah, because now we don't have 6th graders, so you guys are gonna be our eyes. You used to select the wheel, and then they'd ask you in what category did they want to participate, in an interest number. So it was like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you typed in, and it was that weight class, the fitness something,
Yeah.
right? It's called fitness something. And then Spanish and
Art.
Like coding.
art, and then there was another one.
Well, it
Yeah.
had like 2 or 3 and then it said et cetera, et cetera.
Oh.
Because they're trying to bring stuff, yeah.
So then maybe we haven't
Because of
finalized our future
Yeah,
electives.
just like her, like she doesn't know if she's gonna get 6th graders, then he's trying to bring
Yeah, so I put,
coding
so
and.
the first one I put elective wheel,
That
and then I
means-
put animation slash
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
film slash, cause I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and it would change. The problem is that they don't wanna tell you, and then you'll be like, I selected this and this, and I didn't got any of
Yeah.
those. Because everything changes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's based on the
Until
availability.
even the first 2 weeks of school, it's still
It's
things
gonna
are
But your
changing.
elective, I mean, my kid doesn't have, but some of her friends, every quarter, doesn't it change to
Yes.
something
Yes.
different? So they'll get a chance to change every quarter to
Yeah.
something on the elective wheel.
So I think the confusing part is if you do select elective wheel, it's gonna give you a variety of
Yeah.
electives based on what they finalize for the next school year. So if they do finalize and they get, let's say, TB and J, and then they get, I don't know, art and Spanish and music appreciation, that's what it was. Music appreciation, my year, okay, 6th grade.
No,
So then they did a
Mr. T is
rotation.
no more elective.
Oh, see, so then they would do those 4. You didn't know when they were gonna get them, but that's all they had. When she finally got here, they moved it. It was pathways instead of music appreciation
Yeah.
and something else because they didn't have music appreciation at the end.
Yeah.
So if you select the elective wheel, pretty much you're getting 4 different subjects. You just don't know which ones.
You
until
might
the
get
school year
stuck in
starts.
in one you don't really.
Yeah,
care
like
for.
hers, right, where the kid was in the fitness one and he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
My kid didn't want the pathway. It was like a free ride. And then that hurt her GPA. She figured out GPA, which is another thing your kids are going to stress about, by the way, if they're those kids. Because it's a credit, no credit. And, you know, for those of us that went to
Yeah.
college, we figured out that sustains it or, you know, doesn't make it worse, but it doesn't bring you up. Well, that's what happened. So, you know, the pathways class, which I don't know if they still have, was a credit, no credit. And it was an elective. So, again, yes. And then to go back to the things change, yes, the first 2 weeks of school are not finalized because they will be tested again for English and math. And based on that, they may reshift their
And
class.
see why you land on elective.
Because some of our kids are going to go on a higher level of math and English, so then that's going to change your
Your
full elective.
Got it.
Yeah, so just be open-minded.
Or if you have Avid or music, that would change everything else too.
Yeah, because they only have 1 or 2 periods and you have to redo. So just
Yeah.
be open-minded, be patient, work with your
Yes.
counselor, work with your teacher, but they will work with you. I can guarantee you they will.
Yes.
It's just the first 2 weeks, that's when they're doing the remapping, if they have to remap. So you have time. You know, don't feel like they're not listening or they're not gonna do it. They are, it's just, they're literally gonna redo it at the beginning.
And they don't get all their classes the first, when you come and sign them up, they're only gonna get the first period. You're not getting anything until the first day of school.
now my other one came here too, but it was different because he just had his
Yeah,
core,
they did.
and then he had band in Spanish, and that was it.
So very simple.
Yeah, no.
That's easy.
Yeah.
I like that. You already know what you're taking. Don't worry about it. Well, no, we have options now and it drives us and our kids crazy, right? It
Yes.
drives us because we don't understand it. And then you ask them and they're lost and they don't know how to explain it to you. And then when they land the wrong class, you're like, well, I can't help you because you should have said something sooner. You know, now we're halfway through the school year, we can't change it now, right? So it's one of those things where you just have to kind of stay on top of them. But I will warn you, the first 2 weeks are critical, so do pay attention to their classes, where they do on their tests for English and math, and then reassess that on your best need for the student, right? You know, you guys know your kids.
Do they change classes in the first 2 weeks of school?
Yeah.
If you choose to change, like never mind this, but.
Even after, right?
Yeah.
Yours was like 4 weeks into.
Mine said, no, I'm gonna stay, and then at the last, she's like, no, I think I'm,
Yeah, they'll even give them a trial period. So if you talk to the counselor and
And
both
everything,
teachers are in agreement, they'll say, let's give them a 1 day or 2 day or 1 week trial run and leave it up to the kid.
and everything is workable. Like, she didn't want to change her, well, she has math class, because the teacher had said, well, you might lose Spanish, you might lose music. And she was like, nope, I'm staying. But then like a week later, I happened to talk to Miss Marshall, and she's like, nope, let's figure it out. I said, look, she needs a bigger math class, but she doesn't want to lose music, and she doesn't want to lose Spanish. And she was like, let's work it out, let's figure it out. So they sit down, both of them. They sit down, they talk it over, they figure it out, and at the end, she ended up going up in math and keeping music and Spanish. So you do have that chance, you know, if you speak up and say, hey, can we do something? Do you think, you know, she really like, oh, he didn't really like this, can we do something? Because it's going to be a waste of time, it's going to make them anxious, it's going to, you know, can we figure something out? You
And
can.
the teacher too.
Yes,
You have to
and the
remember,
teacher,
right?
yes.
You're holding back because you don't know what, your child's not growing and the teacher can't move on if they're not following too. So you really don't want to impact both your child and that. So
Yeah.
in consideration of, but yes, please do communicate with your child and your counselors.
And the teacher. Message to the teacher. Don't be embarrassed. Don't feel like, you know, you're bothering. I feel like I'm always bothering, but at the end,
You're
I'm
advocating.
Daddy's mom.
Yeah.
But you get the
Not
answers.
everybody else. Yeah, so I need my answers, you know. I don't get anything out of my kids, so I'm gonna get it from the teacher.
Yeah, so we definitely recommend advocating whatever you need, right? And like I said, if you're discouraged because you're just coming in, it's like, who do I ask? You can ask us. We'll be here for registration. Usually registration,
Yes.
that's also a little different. I don't know how they do it in high school, speaking of which I need to figure
That's
that out
it.
too. So they pick a day, your kid goes and they enroll. You have different families. Some families just drop off their child and they do it on their own. That's great. Some of us are not that parent, so we need to know what's going on. That's a perfect opportunity. You're going to see some of the counselors on here. You're going to see the PE teacher and then the ASB clerk. They're here to assist with purchasing uniforms and answering questions. The assistant principal is here as well for answering questions, and then we're here for the membership.
And sixth graders get a meeting with the principal.
Yeah.
So he sits down and answers questions and talks to you guys.
The day of registration?
I think it's the day
No,
before or
it's
the
the
day
day
after.
before.
This year was the day after, last year was the day before.
'Cause I think
They will announce it and they will let you guys know.
the sixth graders come like a week or two before, no, and meet
Yes, by
with
themselves. You just drop them off,
Right.
leave them, and they leave.
and
But
they go with the web kids.
yes,
Oh, they
yes.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're gonna give them a tour, they're gonna show them where everything's at. And sixth grade stays on the back.
Oh, yes.
It's all those classes, so it's not like, I have to, well, depends what you have. Think, here's music right here, and sixth grade's all the way in the back. So if they have music, I have to walk all the way in the back here and then back over there. But they will show him that, and at least as a sixth grade parent, I can tell you, I think we're more scared than them. And then I was freaking out. My daughter is super quiet. She suffers from anxiety, depression, and everything you can find in the book. And I said, oh my God, the world's gonna eat her up. Nope. She's fine without me. She made new friends. She joined cross country.
Yeah.
She doesn't run to the bathroom and she's like, I'm gonna join cross country. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm gonna join cross country. I'm like,
Especially with the web leaders, that like makes the transition.
it's
so
like,
smooth.
it's unbelievable. You're gonna see your kids grow up and change. Like, whoa, you're doing all these
Yeah.
things. It's scary for us. I think it's more scary for us than for them.
Yeah.
I would recommend bringing them to summer school, at least for my daughter. Like I said, she's quiet and doesn't ask questions. Even if she doesn't know where she's going, she will not answer.
We have too
ask
much going
questions.
on, no first.
I know, but
Even if you come just
one week.
yes, let me
Summer
tell you.
school's at Tree Ridge this year, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
They're gonna move it? Oh,
Yes.
very
So
nice.
every year we go back and forth, so
But
we
it
have
just,
it.
it just teaches them to go from classroom to classroom.
Right.
That
Yeah.
at least my daughter was freaking out about that, and it's nothing, but yeah.
They don't
would
have to be here the
chance
whole
to go.
time, just so you know.
Yeah.
You can sign them up and they can go, you know.
You guys
this
can get a
weekend
tour.
and this beer.
Oh, yeah.
You guys can get a tour.
Chances
You
are they're
guys-
gonna love it so much they're gonna want to stay the whole time.
Yes, and it's really easy. We
And this
make
year
it-
it's Monday through Thursday. Yes.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and it's
Even
really
better.
easy. We are the ones freaking out. They have it in their back pocket.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question for you because you mentioned your kid is going to the 8th grade, right? What about, in your case, high school? Is that a different entity? Is there such a thing?
So I like something they did new, not our track, but the other track. The Covina track did something this year where they included elementary and middle school to their big events.
Okay.
I thought that was really cool because I went to it too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because it's welcoming, and then you start seeing the transition of your student, and you're taking your student to these activities. So they also get familiar with the campus. It's less scary for both of you, right?
You said for
if-
track only?
No, no. If we're Northview hasn't done
If
it.
you know.
Oh, they did it?
But they didn't.
It wasn't as
elementary-
promoted, but
Yeah.
they did do
But
it.
They didn't call me.
Yeah, they did it.
So see what I mean? That's what we're building the communication.
Because we went to like, I guess it was called a live too?
That
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, we went to that one. But PTA, is that a thing?
Yes.
Yeah, they have one there too.
It's-
And
But
I,
it's like their own?
Every school has their own.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, every school
That's
has their
something I
own.
didn't-
Unless you're like Mariana, where she can be in 3 different PTAs
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
across the district, then you're fine. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
that's normal too. She's at the high school, at the elementary, and in
Not
here.
anymore.
Well, this year she's not.
She's at high school?
But she's at the high school, and that's what she's saying. But it's a
Not at the
little
high school and
different.
elementary. This is
Yeah,
my last
but-
year at the high school.
And that's something that we also learned. So when I said yes, let me do present, how hard can it be? Yeah, and it's not the same thing. It's not hard, but it's definitely a whole other set of guidelines and abilities, because in elementary, everybody wants to show up to everything. Everyone wants to give. Everyone wants to volunteer. You show up here, it's just us.
Crickets.
Just us. There's 870 average students here, and it's just us.
Yeah.
I was just telling Dr. Ron, I'm like, why don't you fundraise more? He's like, and I'm like, no, like, get your parents
Well,
to
they
the
have tried and
It's
I
hard.
think it's something it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard to capture the attention of the parent. It's really hard to capture the attention of the students. And then we have so many programs, which is where my surprise came. Because you have your ASB and their fundraising, you have their Renaissance and their fundraising, you have their Science Club and their fundraising, you have Avid and their fundraising,
Yeah.
and we all got 5 calendars working out of that. And then they have the giant fundraising at the beginning of the school year that goes to everybody. So that's what we need to work on, and you guys can help next year. Because we're starting to, right? Like I was telling you, our goal was, okay, so if we can't give back because we have to pick programs that are, you know, equitable to everybody, 6, 7, and 8, then now we have the avenue of the clubs. So what does this club need? Because the club is open to all grades. So we can go that route. If there's an elective that's open to the grades, let's go that route. So we can start giving back that way. But now we need to fundraise. So then we go back to how can we fundraise so our numbers get higher and bigger.
What
So-
about local businesses?
So we started, thankfully this year, we got stuff back. I know she thinks she didn't do a lot because she saw what she thought was a small amount to us was a lot. Because last year and the previous year, we didn't have businesses. We weren't in the eye of the neighbors. And she did a massive mail out, and then she went to businesses, and then we have the others that I call them the runners. They take the letter and they run to different businesses and see what can you give us at a discount or for free. I mean, they can show up and do it here. So we had Sky Zone come. We have pumpkin donations. We didn't have to pay for all this stuff. They came and then we can resell it. That's 100% profit to us. So we're growing, we're getting there. And yes, we're starting to move that direction because we didn't have that. So we can't even tell Dr. Mana, we can help you sponsor this program because we didn't have the funds. We started with like under $2,000 at the beginning 2 years ago. So that's pretty scary.
I have a quick one because I almost have to go pick up the little one. But I have a quick one now that you mentioned about like, you know, sponsoring or doing all of this stuff. I have a bunch of like crap in my garage and I always thought like, why don't we make like kind of like a swap event
Yes.
or like selling event? Whether it's like, we can have like a section of like swapping just for free and like
Yeah.
another like to sell event and like have those funds go to the school.
Yes.
That's, just something I thought.
Yeah.
That
I think
will
some
make us
schools
feel
have done it.
comfortable about getting, letting go of things.
Yes, you're doing a good thing,
Yes.
letting it go. I know, you need the pep, I hear you,
Yeah.
I'm the same way. So yeah,
Just a random idea.
Yeah, whatever you don't sell, you can donate to.
Yeah, and then some engagement activities. One of my favorite ones is swapping your accessories. So if you have accessories like purses or jewelry that you just have there, and you don't use them because they're not new to you, you can bring them in and start swapping with
Yeah.
other people that have the
That'd be
same.
a
That-
good
that
PTA mom
happened.
event.
Yeah.
I saw one of the
She's excited.
Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Like they did some kind of, I don't know if you guys saw social media. I forgot which school it was, but they did like
Tradewick.
the painting. Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, we can, and it doesn't seem that much, right? And then to add to that, we have the, like, not Restore, what's that company? They bring a bin.
Oh,
Stuff
yeah.
around razor.
Or the other one, what's the
They
other one?
pay you by pound.
But they pay you by pound, so whatever we don't swap or
can
sell or
just-
give
I don't
away,
remember.
you donate and get cash back for it.
Oh, that's
So it's multi-purpose.
Yeah,
So yes, we have, so
Thank-
that's what we want to hear. What can we do,
Yeah.
right, that are going to bring in people and things that people have or access to. So yeah, I'll take that, that's fine.
Yeah.
For summer, can we be active as PTA summer for like fundraising?
Oh, I'm gonna put you to work.
As of July 1st, be your president and she's going to put you to work.
I was just gonna ask you, who is our new president coming in?
I vacation, she doesn't.
I do, but I go with.
Yeah, she goes
Wi-Fi.
before, yeah, where she's completely disconnected. But yeah, come July 1st, as long as we've transferred everything, which my goal is the first week of June, so everybody can start fresh July 1st. Yes, you guys can start whatever you need to get going.
Yeah.
Mailing out, going to the businesses, you have everything.
Because
Agreed.
July is the only month that I might have.
See, July 1st is
I
your
will
first
call
day.
you.
Yeah, so whatever you guys have in your wheels, we're gonna take back,
Arroz.
whatever questions came up, we're gonna go ahead and share. Because he does have the coffee, what is it, the coffee with the principal.
yeah.
Then you guys are gonna have your sixth grade teacher, well, your sixth grade welcoming meeting. Something that for your eighth grade that I didn't get, and I hope the rest of you do get, is the eighth grade parent meeting. Because you will pay a lot of things. And they come at you as surprise because you didn't know that you had all these things. They take the PSATs. I had 10,000 questions. Why is my eighth grader taking the PSATs when she is not to par to be taken? But unless I reached out and asked those questions, all I got was, well, you know, it's a standard thing. The school pays for it. Okay, but is that going to be used towards what? How are you going to use that for my daughter's data, information, everything? But not all the parents think like I do, right? So I would have liked to have that intro in the eighth grade. Like, welcome eighth grader parent, these are the expenses that we can look forward to. This is the discipline contract you're going to sign for your student so that you are also on top, because if they're not doing well in school, they're not going to participate. So you want to hear it up front so that you can start talking to your student as soon as the school year starts and not have those issues or conversations.
All right, later.
Yeah, so definitely something that if you guys are going to have eighth graders, please. I sent an email, got nowhere.
Does Dr. Lana sit in your board meetings?
Yes. So if you have questions, I sent the minutes and the agenda beforehand, and I asked, do you guys have anything you see on there or don't see that you want me to ask? And even there, it's like anything I forgot to add, because it does happen. So you do want to bring it up. If he doesn't have an answer or I don't have an answer, then we'll get back to you. But we're pretty good about that. So hopefully it stays that way. You know, you guys have an open communication. You definitely have access to him at all times, whether you are on the board or not. Don't feel that you have to be in the PTA in order to talk to
When
him.
is the next board meeting?
For us, it's the 6th. No, we moved it to the 5th. It's a Tuesday.
Yes.
It's that week.
So the fourth.
Oh, thank you. See?
Oh, I have
The
one last.
6th is my promotion, so that's
I know.
all I remember right now.
And the fifth
I have
is
one
not
last
used.
thing to add,
Yeah.
as a question or suggestion. I had asked Dr. Omana, because, sometimes we have like low attendance to like, meetings.
Yes.
So I asked him if there was any way that some of those PTA meetings can be like, like streamlined, like online. Or like with a link, like Zoom or something. He said, yes, we'll look into it, and it's been a year.
Well, thank you
So-
for letting us know.
So, Do you mean when we have association meetings?
No, like just like
Meetings
the
in general?
board meetings? Yes, with, no, not the board meetings.
No,
Meetings
for
with the,
board
like,
meetings.
what is it, like
any
coffee with the
association.
principal? There you go.
Oh, coffee with the principal.
Yeah, like those,
Yeah.
I guess.
I think he's
Maybe-
We have a
Oh, yeah.
TVNJ teacher ready to roll.
We're gonna have her to work.
Yeah.
Okay, so see, that, she
I
has,
suggested that because we had like low attendance and I myself had to like jump 2 hours out of work to be
Yeah.
here.
Oh,
So not all parents can afford
but
that.
sometimes they have.
But maybe they can
tried
stream it in
online,
their
yes.
work, you know, or something.
Well, now it's an idea that we can, see, she works with us.
She's our partner.
And she does it. So we can tell her,
Yeah.
hey, what if we stream the coffee
Yeah.
with the principal so more
I know he has
parents
a million
can
things to do, so he probably.
That's why
forgot.
they said bilingual night to her.
Yeah, he's tried it, but he's not very good at looking at the.
Wait, before you leave, I know you said, sorry,
Yeah.
that you're proud of your daughter. So we met your daughter in one of our snacks sales. And no, it's the best answer she could have given us, and we're gonna remember that because we sell everything, right? And all the stuff they shouldn't be having, but they have it anyways. She didn't want to spend her money because she has to save for college.
That's what she
So we were totally okay with it. Of course, we still gave her stuff for answering like that because we didn't expect that. So be proud of her and thank you for participating.
I was Saturday school. when
She also came to our Saturday empowerment classes.
Oh, yeah.
Voluntarily, without any persuasive,
Yes.
intuitive, or
I like
anything.
that. I'm so
Thank you.
proud of that part because, and it's, you know, a lot of the involvement of the school and all the programs and whatnot, because they themselves started just doing it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us support us and
Yes.
encourage us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you. Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you, good night. Yeah, so, see, one person will make a difference. I didn't know we were gonna meet her mom. I'm
I
glad we
know.
met her mom. But yeah, that's, I mean, we meet so many kids. I wish, that's usually my comment when I come out to race. I wish some of these parents would come so they could see what their kids do. So see the answers and the questions they say, because they're not all negative. You see, like, they have great things to share. They tell us what they're, you know, building at home. And I don't know if they're going home and talking to their parents about this. They're so passionate in their conversation. I sometimes think, is someone asking them that? So
Your Saturday enrichment class, I know that a couple times you had like speakers come in and stuff
Yes.
like that. Are you guys still trying to do
Yes,
that on a
we're
regular
gonna
basis?
keep doing
Keep
it.
doing that?
that's where.
And see, and it rubbed off on them. You saw they had one.
Yeah.
See, it's like, we've been doing it for a whole year, and they had one too. So it's like, hey, we were like, cool, now they're having one.
That's our goal, right? We have to test our waters. It's something that wasn't presented before. We saw the need because they were incorporating it to the behavior stuff that's coming up during the school year. Some of our kids were affected by it, so it was kind of like, okay, what can we do? Where can we start? And we could have maybe made more money and paid more things, but to me, that was a good tester to find out what we need to pursue. So we paid the speakers to come to do interactive activities to get them in tune with their social and emotional, right? So hopefully it worked. We had one comer and she came to a couple of them, and we had a couple throughout the school year. So our goal is to have more maybe starting at the beginning of the school year, especially with our 6th graders, because they're building, right?
It's
Yeah, and
a
then-
rude awakening.
We started doing it on Saturday schools, and the first Saturday, they're all like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? And then the second or third, they
Yeah, the
walked
third
in, they're like, oh my God, the lady's
She's
back!
back.
We're gonna do activities with the lady's back!
So it's
So
just
they're like, oh, it hit them, they remember, they know what to do.
We didn't want them to feel like they were being punished, right? That was our goal. Like, don't send them because they're having behavior problems already or discipline problems at school. Send them because they really want to try this. And then, of course, we're not going to get a lot of attendance, but then word of mouth. And by the 3rd visit, she was welcoming. Or they would go up to her and say, when are you coming back? And she was like, oh, they want me back. I was like, that's good. We want you back, you know? So it's promising, but you guys have to try things out. And I'm sorry I cut you off. I just wanted to tell her before she left.
No, it's fine. I forgot what I was saying.
Because in the whole year, well, 2 years,
Yeah.
this is the first time we've met her. Because usually she's by herself for whatever Saturday school or an after school event. But I'm glad because obviously she's in tune with what's going on. So
Yeah.
it was nice. No problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
I know, we all have meetings everywhere.
Independence with Yanni.
Yeah. So there you go. No, but you guys have our numbers, our email. I'm both, my email and the PTA email. So I know that a lot of them would ask, like, well, how do we get a hold of her? It's like, that's it. So if you guys have my number, please do ask. Like I said, I do get the text and I do, because if I'm here this week for teleworking purposes, I work from home every other week. So usually those are faster. but the weeks I'm not home, I'm not as proactive on myself. So just bear with me and I'll answer your questions. And if you guys are considering, I know you mentioned, what about the other schools? What are they offering? Go. I found out through Instagram that one of the other schools was having things that my daughter likes. And they were having them on Saturdays. They were having the robotics and coding and the 7 years program. Well, I figured, what's the worst that can happen? They'll tell me, no, she can't go. So I called and I was like, okay, can my daughter come? She's interested, she's done this. And they contacted Dr. Juana. It's like, what's her standing? You know, of course, you want a good citizen come into the school. They said, fine. She went, and now she built something with them, and she got to go to the, what do you call it? It's like a convention that they host at Cal Poly. So they're partnered with Cal Poly and San Diego State. She's here, but that doesn't limit her to what she can have access to. Because again, Covina Valley has so much to share, and it's an open district. So take advantage of that to your best interest, you know, for your students, obviously. More so yeah, follow us.
I don't know if it was because of us, but I would like to think that it is. The first year we were at a meeting with Dr. Heiser, they were talking about what all the high schools offer. And you know, South Hills offers the to become a chef.
Oh yeah, the
culinary classes, and I don't know what else. And then you know, Northview has the filming and the sports, and Covina, you know, has the farm. And oh, can my kid? Oh no, you know, that's for that school. That's why each school is different. This year I was at a meeting with Evan Heiser, and she said, hey, whatever you kid likes can go to the other school. You know, it's a Northview kid, but can go and take culinary classes over there if they want to. And I was like, we asked for that a couple of years ago, and now it's happening.
So like an elective or something?
Yes.
So what they're doing now
She even said that if it's during school, they could go to the other school and then come back to their
bus
school.
them or you have
No, you will have to be responsible for that, but if you want that class.
So they have to have like an open period or
Yes.
Yeah, which they'll adjust if they're gonna take that.
Yeah.
And then this year for 8th grade, I don't know if the other middle schools did it, but this was new this year, and I know that same thing. We want to take some credit to that. Was same thing. Introduce them to the other districts, because I'm telling you, the other high schools. I'm telling you, go to their lives, because to me that was the only way I had access to the other schools, right? Or so I thought. Well, this year they got a field trip where they actually went to the additional other high schools. They didn't just go to Northview. They also went to Covina and South Hills. So then they come back and share, right? I saw this. I want to see this. And again, you can pursue it at another school, or you can be like me and just go, can we bring it here? How do I bring it here? You're closer. I can get her from, like you said, transportation is a big deal. I can't drive her to South Hills. I work. So, you know, it's like I have to find it here. So what do you need me to do to bring it to Northview? You know, so that's kind of what we're headed, hopefully.
Yeah.
You know.
I started a while back with the dual language.
Sorry. Can you guys have an Instagram page for PTA?
Yes, we do.
Can you guys tell me again what it is?
It's I think it is LP. Oh, Las Palmas PTA 20. That's the email 2225 too many. I know. Yeah, we grew that a little more too, because it looked like that was our biggest outlet. The kids look at it, by the way, because we'll sell something and say, oh yeah, I saw it on the street. I was like, okay, even the kids follow us. That's cool. It's not just the parents.
It's Las Palmas PTA.
Yeah.
No spaces.
For registration, you guys should have a QR code. So
We do have our QR code for Totem and our QR code for following us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
Christy
way.
made them in wood.
Yeah, so that everybody, when you register, I mean, if you don't want to pay your membership, that's fine, but still follow us so you can see it
Yes.
too. You know, it's not like the union. If you don't pay the union, they don't represent you. No, that's not us. You didn't pay the PTA, we still represent you. Our kids still go here. It's to our interest that whatever is happening with your kid is also resolved, because it affects our kid. Our kid's here too, you know? So that's the way I saw it. I know my daughter likes to remind me of that, because every so often, like, it doesn't impact. It's like, but it's not happening to, but it's happening to 300 other kids. So you go to school there, let's fix it. You know, so that's kind of the mentality I picked up. I'm hoping the rest of you, you'll see it. It's a partnership with your kid and the other students and parents here. So yeah, definitely sign up when you get here, not because you have to pay, just follow us. So we won't take your money.
What are we doing to encourage parents to volunteer, like if they don't want to be part of PTA? Because like for me, you know, of course I had to do like my fingerprints and all that stuff.
They don't need that anymore.
They don't? Okay.
No, it's not asked of it anymore. If you do it, it's better. I mean, for everyone else, but it's not needed anymore. Just if you're gonna be on campus, when the kids are here, they ask you for your ID and
Right.
they scan it.
So now it's a little easier.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, because I
Yes.
know in elementary school, you had to do a bunch of.
Yeah.
Yeah, even elementary schools are not
No, it's
asking for
fine.
it no more.
Yeah, no.
Because I know of some parents that would love to volunteer, but they still think you still have to do like
No.
this fingerprint.
No,
and all
No,
that.
no,
Yeah.
and
It's
there's
good to
always
know.
the thing, that I always tell people, and that's my go-to.
Her pitch.
Yeah, my pitch to everyone, a lot of people would tell me back in elementary or even here, I don't speak English. I don't need you to speak English. We have Maria that swears she doesn't speak English.
She understands
And I used to tell her, all I need you to say is $2. Can you say $2? She's like, yeah, there you go, $2. And now they ask her questions and she answers. And I told her, look at it, she says she doesn't know, she's talking to the kids.
Yeah.
And because they ask her things, So that and, I don't have papers. And I've been here 7 years. I've been president here, there, and everywhere. That's not an obstacle. They're not going to ask you your status. They're not going to ask you anything. We want you to be present. So whoever you
Maybe
guys
put that
know.
in your Instagram, that you're looking for parent volunteers. I mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
I think the more parents involved, the better. I think, and then you get different ideas of what to do for fundraising, different things, what concerns. I think, for me, I like to get to know a lot of parents.
Yeah,
Like, oh, hi, I'm Alana's mom, nice to meet you, and then that's how,
You build,
yeah,
right?
I build
You build community.
community.
Yeah.
If my kid's not telling me something, I know I can call Rosanna and, hey, what's going on? And she's like, this is what's going on. So,
Yeah.
because I'm a single parent and I work long hours, so sometimes I'm not on top of like everything.
No, I think
Yeah,
it's
so,
good, and that
yeah.
being part of PTA too gives you that sense of community, and you get to know the parents, and then your kids see, oh, my parents are involved in the school and stuff too, so they feel even safer and stuff. And like you said, you're a single mom. What if you're stuck at work? You can call one of us and say like, hey, can you pick up my kid because now you know us,
Right.
and drop them off, or you help one another too.
Yeah, and that's with us. Like, they're two, they do that all the time. Me, Nancy, and Judy, we've been doing it since junior high. Nancy had an operation out of nowhere, like this year, and she was like, can you come pick? Yes. I went to pick up her kid. We all live around here, pick up a kid. And my daughter wouldn't get out until 4:30 because of cross country. I would come pick up her kid, drop him off, and then come back and get my daughter. She's like, it's too much. I'm like, it's not too much. It's like,
One day
come
you'll
on.
repay.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Somehow it comes back, right?
One time my car broke and I called Nancy. Nancy, can you go get my car? She's like, yeah, sure, I'll go get it.
It's right.
Little things you would think, oh, this would never happen. You never know. Like, we just had a scare at Merwin not long ago, and parents were like calling each other, can you please get my kid? Are you on the emergency list? No. Like, you can't take that, your neighbor kid. These things you need to think about it, I am on Judy's and Nancy's emergency. They are right with each other's, because you never know.
Right.
We all, know each.
Without the emergency, yes, they can pick them up, but when there's an emergency, it's by the book, so they have to be on.
Yeah, so, it's all that, we all learn. And it helps. I always tell people, it helps to be here.
Yes.
It
Because
has,
like you were saying, you find the parents, right, that are be willing to volunteer, and then you have the parents that are willing to help. So it's like, okay, let's do it. And they have different scenarios. We have some moms, we only see seasonal because they play volleyball. So they come to watch their kids play. They're like, we can help you for an hour. Okay, so they watch their kid for an hour and play for the other, the work for the other. And same goes for the flag football. So we have our seasonal parents that are volunteers. It's usually because their kids are playing something. So we take advantage of that. And, and my pitch is always, I work 40 plus hours. If I can do
That's
it, you
not
can do
an
it. Because you can help me cut out all the posters, cut out the decorations we put on the bulletin boards. I don't need you to physically come, I just need
You
you
can
to do
take
it.
something home, cut it for
Yeah, like our eighth grade lays, we're doing the lays. We had one mom do another, then the other mom folded the dollar
Candies.
flowers, the other one did the candies. It's like, they didn't come, but they're volunteers. So we always pitch that in. It's like, you don't have to physically be present.
How much are you guys selling the lace for?
20 and 25. No,
There's
20.
there's a flyer behind you.
Oh, yeah. See, we have a,
it's 20 if it's
no, but I brought that
only
today.
has one, the flower for the dollars is $3 in there. Or you can have two.
No, I have the moms that tell me, I can't do you need something to be cut out? Yes, because there's somewhere in middle school we don't cut out things. Yes, we do. We do the bulletins. Mariana likes to get on the chair to
Oh,
cut.
yes.
See, so
That's another
we
thing that
tested this last year and it went well.
Oh, yes.
That was our
We
biggest
did
one.
good money, yes.
Yes.
This goes all to PTA.
Yeah, so we have one mom does the little plaques, the other mom does the dollars, and the other mom does the ribbons. And together we did an
Are you guys
assembly
able to
line.
make them longer?
Oh yeah, this is the smaller. We have 3 sizes.
Yeah.
Because my son's graduating, I'd rather purchase a lathe from you guys
Oh, yeah.
for him and start contributing here
Oh, yeah,
than
thank
to
you.
go buy it somewhere else.
Yes.
And
Oh, yeah.
And
Christy
yeah,
made-
that's gonna fit him like a choker.
Christy made-
Oh yeah, no. We have 3 sizes. We thought of all the
Yes,
reasons.
yes.
Like I said, we learned, right? Last year we shot at it because we had one mom that had an 8th grade student, and she was like, "Well, they never sell, and you have all these vendors." So like, okay, let's try it. And it was a money maker at the end of the school year. And so this year we're better prepared. And then like half our board has 8th graders.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. So yeah, thank you guys. I mean, whatever you guys can contribute, we'll take ideas too.
And for our nerds, our kids that are nerds, Lego,
Oh.
Lego and those poppers, there's some like, they look like chemical things. I'm telling you because my son started doing that after we had purchased that candy one in 6th grade. And he put it on himself and I was like, that is a great idea.
See, there you go. And you have an 8th grader next year.
I do.
I think we're amping our styles.
Yeah.
There you go, see? So we just, the goal is to build on stuff, so I'm glad you guys joined. I'm glad that you guys will be here for next year. And if you guys need anything, I'm down the street. I can still help from afar.
You're gonna go to Covina?
I'm going to Covina, yeah. Again, we went house shopping, and that's where it pointed our daughter. Well, ideally, she probably would have wanted the business
South Hills.
one in South Hills, but realistically, like I said, I can't drive her there. Nobody can drive her there. So how do we get her there? That's my next pitch. Can we get a school bus?
So no, it's funny because when they started talking about it, they have a lot of programs. And I know I've vented with a couple of moms here, but they have a lot of programs where our dual kids have always not had, they don't have the option. So the South Hills has international IB, right? And so I kept raising my hand, can any student from CBUSD go there? Oh yeah, not a problem. I said, what about if you have dual? Well, no, not those kids, because you would have to figure out how
How do you merge?
how do you put them together? And I was like, well, why isn't IB in all the schools, right? Why does it only have to be in one school versus the other? And so I think I'm glad to hear that you guys are pushing the needle a little bit because all of the schools need to have.
It's almost like a punishment for our dual kids.
Well, it's not just that, because I'm sure Mandarin, if I could talk to some of
Right.
the parents that have Mandarin, I'm sure that
Right.
we may have programs that they don't have.
Because
access
Spanish
to.
is an elective for them, and then
Right.
they only get one
Because
elective.
And it's just too because they hear it from you or from 2 or 3 parents. It's more parents who get together and say, we all want this, they might bring it. But they're saying it, well, I only know 3, 4, 5 people that want it. I cannot have a class for 5 people. So if you all find more people that think like you, then you bring it up and then you're like, no, I have 30, 40 parents that have kids that would like, then they're gonna say, oh, okay, then maybe we could open one, right? Because now you have 40, 45 parents.
Yeah.
But if it's only 4 or 5, they're gonna tell you, nope, we can't do that. Yeah.
To get more parents involved, it's Disney girls.
Yeah.
Good, that's the spirit. See, the open forum helps. Like she was saying, that's how I sold it. Now it's your turn.
And then go and tell whoever you know, because we
Yeah.
all have like friends and other people and then,
Other parents that are coming to the
But
school.
all the dual moms think the same thing. I don't know about you two, but.
So it's
The
dual
parents-
immersion? Is that what it is?
yes.
But that's what we were saying, Treywig has Mandarin and they still get 2 electives plus Mandarin. But we have Spanish and we only get 1 elective because our second is Spanish.
And our feeder track is Northview versus feeder track for Mandarin is South Hills. If you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Just the
Because they offer
perception.
that over
Just the
there.
perception of it. Just kind of, they're, if you go there, they have a college corner, right? And it looks like.
But now next year we'll have 2 dual parents and our meeting, we can start pushing for that with him, like, I know this many people that would like to do it. But who do we have to talk to?
Every time I
Who do
go
we
to
have
a
to
site meeting, I'll always bring that up too.
Like,
Yeah.
It's probably okay.
This mom again.
No,
It's okay to be that mom.
He's very.
So what is it, you guys want like a second elective?
Our kids feel gypped because they, they want to do more electives and they can't because Spanish is an elective, so they only get one.
So what would be the option, like a 0 period or?
I don't know.
no.
However,
that's not-
Treywig doesn't. How does Treywig, I'm gonna know.
Yeah, find out.
But it would be however Trawick does it, because they have, the kids still have 2 electives plus their Mandarin class.
So the Mandarin, they learned from us because our program came first. So for example, my daughter's from the first cohort. Their first cohort, they were all together. They didn't have that jumping from one class to the other experience. So it was like a mini continuation from elementary. They had one teacher for all periods, except for their elective, right? So it's kind of like, it's been improving, it's been better, but the first 2 years are always kind of like the trial run, and so Trawick has benefited from learning the trial.
And by the way, my daughter didn't like that either. And she doesn't speak Spanish, but she was in the Spanish class and she was like, I think it's unfair. Everybody speaks Spanish by me. Everybody knows everything and I don't. So she's like very like, I have to learn Spanish because when I get my class next year, I have to know. Traumatized it that she's behind and she's not the first one to finish it. She's like, oh my God, that class is so hard because everybody knows it's not fair.
Yeah, no, it's not that it's hard. They did together.
Yes,
They were in
yes,
kinder
yes.
together.
That I told her, oh, it's because they come from Manzanita and then they know Spanish and English.
That's
She's
not
like,
fair
oh,
to
yeah.
her.
But she made friends in that class.
Oh, she-
But, yeah, they were teaching her.
Culturally,
so
she's had a better experience.
But she was like also frustrated with it, the fact that like, oh my God, everybody knows except me. I was like, oh, start working because you need to learn Spanish now.
So,
Well, that's good for her, at least.
there you go. So now you know. It'll be site meeting and PTA meeting. You can remember. And then find out what we need to do. More fundraising, we'll do it. Yeah, because that's the other thing. I mean, if it's gonna be something, and I mean, I'm gonna only recommend this because I saw that in elementaries that they started paying for like an instructor to come teach them the ASL or to do the STEM classes after school or on Saturdays. So they start seeing it's like, well, these parents are paying for it, these kids are coming, well, green light over there, let's re-budget so that we introduce it in the class, not as an extra, right? So just saying.
And Loman has ASL every Tuesday, but it's free.
Right, but then, see, like here, nobody's doing it, so if you guys start paying for it, they'll see it, and then they'll grow it.
They're almost at the tail end though,
Yeah.
so, but yeah. I always said, why didn't our kids from the very beginning learn ASL? That way
It's so much
everybody
fun.
would be using it. And you just have your first elementary.
We'll bring you a Spanish on the Saturday so you don't have to do it. Yeah, but I mean, these are good ideas, and you could definitely, like I said, take advantage of being in his ear, right, in his presence to kind of remind him. And if you have additional parents that are going to support you, then it'll move faster. Yeah. You got another year, 2 years.
2 years.
So you're good. You'll see the change. So yeah, thank you, ladies. Grab some things to drink, take some pastries, and you guys have my number and the email and the Instagram.
Or
You guys can
anything.
message me.